This is our last lesson on using the Binca. Now, as you can see, I have been a very busy bee over the last few days, and I have filled in my sheet of Binca. So the other day we learned how to do the battlement stitch, which was that stitch. And I've gone one step further by running a running stitch, not through the Binca, but through the threads to create a completely different looking stitch altogether. And actually the only reason I did whack that was because I hadn't realised that I'd already done that same stitch in the same colour, so I needed to change it. There. I've also done the half cross stitch across there, but instead of going through just one hole up, I've gone two up. So I've gone into every hole going along, but I've gone two up. So this is where you can change all your stitches and make them as large or as small as you want. I've also put 2020 in there so that I know in years to come, either my grandchildren or great-grandchildren, if they see this, will say, oh, that was done in 2020. I have also done my name on there in pencil. So what you need to do first is you need to get a piece of paper and square out your name. It's the only way you can do it really, because you need to be going through all of the holes. So as you can see, the S has been squared, then the U and the E. So you need to be putting your name across there. Now I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches along for the S on my name, and the same with the U and the same with the E. Now, depending on how long your name is, if you've got a long name, you might only want to put, say, 3 going across. But because I've got quite a short name, mine fits in nicely on there. And again, what I did, I'm quite lucky because there's only 3 letters in my name. I started in the centre and did the U first, and then did the other letters either side of it, because that way it's centred in the middle. It would be awful if you started your name there and then it finished halfway along. So try and centre your work up if you can. Now you can also see that I've done some stars on there. They were really, really easy to do. All I did with those was I came up through the centre stitch, counted 1, 2 and went down through the next hole. So on the 4 north, south, east, west, I went through the 3rd hole. On the ones in between, I counted 1 and went down through the 2nd hole, and did exactly the same for the other 2 as well. So that's another nice easy stitch that you can do. Right, so this stitch, like the date on there, we're going to do in back stitches. Is what I showed you the other day, but we'll have a go at doing it again. So I'm going to start up at the top there on the S. So hold the back of your work there, and we're just going to go through all that. I'm just going to put that on one side, through all the different stitches, following the pencil line. I just need to catch the back of my work in there to secure it down. There we go. So this is all of it done in back stitch. And this is just how we're going to finish it off. Now, we are in very strange times at the moment, and this will be something that will go down in history, having this virus that we're all having to put up with. So if you want and you've got some space, why don't you just, again, in small writing in backstitch, just put something like COVID-19? Because who knows, in 100 years' time, if somebody comes to see this, they will actually know that the person that did it during this epidemic. And it's all a little bit of history. It could even, if you're any of you doing a time chest, or I know that a lot of you are doing diaries and postcards with school, you could put this in with those as well. There. So this is the last bit that I'm doing. So you can see the letter S is starting to form. And when I've done each letter, or rather when I've done the first letter, I will then fasten off my work and start again. I know there's not much to go through from there to there, but I don't want my thread showing through underneath, so I'm going to fasten it off properly and then start again. So start every letter off individually with your thread. I'll just get to the end of the S, and then that's enough for me to show you on that. There we go. I'm just going to fasten that off by running it through some of the stitches at the back. And then cut it off with the scissors and start again. Now I hope you've enjoyed this series of lessons. If you'd like any more, please let me know. Let me know what sort of things you'd be interested in. One of the things I had thought perhaps to try next is to do some rainbow brooches and make them from felt and stitch the rainbow pieces together. Let me know whether you'd be interested in doing something like that, and I'll put some kits together for you. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it.